Hey, history enthusiasts, welcome back to our series on imperialism. If you've been following along, you've already gotten the scoop on the broad strokes of imperialism. But today, we're zooming in on Africa to explore how imperialism played out there, with a special focus on the Congo, West African colonies, and Ethiopia. Let's dive in. Quick refresher. Imperialism is the policy or ideology of extending a nation's rule over foreign countries, either by force or by establishing control over their economy and government. It shaped many parts of the world in the 19th and early 20th centuries. But how did this play out in Africa? Let's find out. In Africa, imperialism took a unique and often brutal form. But it wasn't always this way. For centuries, Africa's geography, including dense jungles, vast deserts, and diseases such as malaria, made it difficult for European powers to penetrate the interior of the continent. Trade was limited mainly to coastal regions, and European influence was relatively contained. However, the 19th century saw a dramatic shift. Technological advancements like the steamboat and the discovery of quinine to treat malaria allowed European explorers to venture deeper into Africa. Coupled with an increasing appetite for resources and markets, this led to what became known as the Scramble for Africa, where European powers rushed to claim territories. One of the pivotal moments in this scramble for Africa was the Berlin Conference, held between 1884 and 1885. This meeting, convened by German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, brought together 14 European countries, including major powers like France, Britain, Germany, and Italy. Notably absent from the conference were any African leaders or representatives. This exclusion reflected the unequal power dynamics of the time, where decisions about the fate of the African continent were made without input from the people most affected. The purpose of the Berlin Conference was to divide Africa amongst the colonial powers in a way that avoided conflicts between them. Rules were set for claiming territory, often disregarding ethnic, linguistic, and cultural boundaries. The result was a patchwork of artificial borders that still impact African nations today. Take the Congo, for example. Controlled by Belgium's King Leopold II, the Congo Free State became a personal fiefdom where forced labor and horrific abuses were common. The pursuit of rubber led to mass killings and maimings, with estimates of deaths ranging from several 100,000 to over 10 million. Over in West Africa, the French and British established vast colonial empires. The building of railroads and infrastructure benefited European powers, but often neglected the needs and traditions of local communities, leading to social and cultural disruptions. And then there's Ethiopia, a standout example of resistance. Under Emperor Menelik II, Ethiopia successfully fended off Italian invasion at the Battle of Adwa in 1896. This victory allowed Ethiopia to remain independent, symbolizing hope and pride for other African nations. As we wrap up our exploration of imperialism in Africa, it's essential to recognize the complex legacy it left behind. Like any historical event, it's multifaceted, with both positive and negative effects. On the positive side, imperialism brought technological advancements, infrastructure development, and education systems to parts of Africa. Some argue that these have contributed to modernization and growth in certain regions. However, the major negative effects are profound. Imperialism led to the exploitation of resources and people, a disruption of traditional social structures, artificial borders that continue to fuel conflicts, and an enduring economic dependence on former colonial powers. The trauma and imbalances created by this era still shape the political and social landscapes of many African countries today. From the tragic story of the Congo to the inspiring resistance of Ethiopia, the complex legacy in West Africa, and the overarching effects of the Berlin Conference, imperialism in Africa is a rich, complex subject that continues to resonate. Understanding it helps us appreciate the challenges and opportunities faced by Africa in the present day.